बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मुंह देखते जा रहे हैं, जवाब नहीं दे रहे बच्चे। ओके गाइस, वी आर गोइंग टू गो ऑन विद IELTS listening module, and listening will improve your speaking. Why? Good listeners are good speakers, and reading will improve your writing because good readers are good writers. Okay, so as far as IELTS listening is concerned, we are going to solve a test. We will go through all 40 questions one by one. I will read the questions, I will give you instructions, I will play the audio, then I'll tell you the answer, you'll tell me the answer, and I'll give you reason for each answer. If you write any wrong answer, I'll tell you why that answer is wrong, why this answer is right. So all you need to do, you need to pay attention, you need to realize why if your answer is wrong, you need to realize why your answer is wrong, why other answer is right, and listen to the audio. Two things are important. The first most important thing is how you read the question. If you read the question and you understand the question, you will find the answer in the audio. And if you are unclear about the question, answer will come and go and you will not even move. Later on, you will have a little jolt or anything like that. You'll be startled, but you will not write the answer. So reading the question and how to read the question, that is most important thing. I'll tell you how to do that. If you read the question the way I want you to read, you will find the answer as well. Okay, so we will do all 40 questions one by one. I'll give you details. You got to pick up all these things, and test after test you will feel better. Don't expect a lot from yourselves. Test after test you'll be better. One thing you have to do, when I play the audio first time, right, if your answer is correct in the first time, you need to write a tick over there. And if your answer is wrong, you need to write a cross over there. I'm talking about first play of the audio and the answer that you write. If it is correct, tick. If it is wrong, cross. And there are 40 questions. By the end, we see out of 40 questions, how many answers are right. Okay, so this is very good activity. I play the audio, you write the answer, and I say, yes, your answer is correct. You write a tick. If your answer is wrong, you write a cross there. So by the end, we will see out of 40, how many answers are correct. Okay, and be with me. Don't try to tune out. I mean, for example, I'm reading question number 1 and you're looking at question number 2. I'm reading question number 2, you're looking at the speaker. Chana dene. Okay, no, not like this. Okay, so you have to be with me, and inshallah, things will be fine. Now, let's make a start. Section 1, complete the form below. This sentence will always tell you about the type of questions. When they use the word complete the form, complete the table, complete the notes, complete the flow chart, anything like that, it means sentence completion, right? Then the second sentence, write one word and or a number. This sentence will tell you, this sentence will give you instructions how to solve the question type. Now instructions are one word and or a number. So it means answer can be umbrella, which is one word, or answer can be 5 umbrellas. 5 umbrellas, 5 number and umbrellas word, and answer can be only 5. Got the point? One word and or a number. Exactly. Okay, now after this you will read the title. The title is crime report form. You know, we have FIR in our country, police, they have FIR, first information report, or anything like that. So they have CRF. CRF means crime report form. Okay. Now they've written type of crime, theft, personal information, name is mentioned, and all that. So the audio will start from the beginning. What sort of crime? Theft. What's your name? She will tell the name, Louise Taylor. Okay. Now remember one thing. If you are only on the question and waiting for the answer, come on, you will never find the answer. Answer will come and go. I mean, you need to wait for the answer and you need to go along the audio. If in the audio, the person says, well, a theft has taken place and I want to report that. What does it mean? Audio is at theft. And then the man says, "Madam, can I know your name, please?" And she says, "My name is Louise." It means audio has reached there. So systematically, audio will progress, and you should also follow that progression of the audio. If audio is progressing and you're not following that progression, and you're only waiting for the answer, you will not be able to catch it. So sometimes if the train is running and you want to give a glass of water to someone in the train, with the running train, you will also run with the train. Okay, so you have to walk with the audio. You have to go on with the audio, then you'll find the answer. There are two types of informations in IELTS listening. One is information with questions and one is information without questions. Now, for example, type of crime. Is there a question? No. Example, name. Is there a question? No. So this information is without question. So information without question is for you to go along with the audio. And question number 1, nationality. Now there is a question. Okay, so answer will come after name. Okay, now there is one thing in IELTS listening which is what we call trap, or we also call it distraction. Okay, for example, what's your nationality? That's interesting. People think I'm American, and some people even believe that I'm Australian. In fact, I am from Pakistan, or I am from whatever. Okay, so whatever the person finally says, that will be the right answer. So what is distraction? Distraction is people think I'm American, and those who are over curious, they were nationality American. Oh yeah, and they'll say I Canada tomorrow. Okay. Okay, when you write wrong answer, you are double confident. Yeah, she said American, I heard American, but you don't know. So it's not the word you need to pick from the audio. You need to understand that is the nationality or not. Okay, for example, before my marriage, I was Scottish, and then I got married with a Canadian. Now I am British, because I have another marriage after that. Okay, so nationality, that's what we got to focus. I play the audio and listen. When the audio stops, then you will tell me your answer. When I say yes please, then you will tell me the answer, not before. It's not audio is going, I say American. No, not like this. Okay, wait for the audio to stop, and when I say yes please, then tell me the answer. Okay, let's start.
Good morning. What can I do for you?
I want to report a theft. I had some things stolen out of my bag yesterday.
I'm sorry to hear that. Right, so I'll need to take a few details. Can I start with your name?
Louise Taylor.
Okay, thank you. And are you resident in the UK?
No, I'm actually Canadian, though my mother was British.
And your date of birth?
December 14th, 1977.
Yes. Canadian? British? Good. Mother was British. Right? And he said, are you the resident of UK? That was a question. Now UK, British, and Canadian. So the right answer is Canadian. And by the way, IELTS listening provides you the best opportunity to improve your pronunciation. Now those who say Canadian, for them a good time to learn Canadian. Say that? Canadian. Okay, that's good. So, and your spelling should be correct. Canadian, K-A-N-A-C-A-N-A-D-I-A-N. Well done. Okay, occupation, interior designer. Now, when they talk about interior designer, after that you will be alert. Reason for visit, business. Now, she is interior designer. Reason for visit is business. To buy antique. Now, underline the word antique. And what can be the synonym of antique? Old. Old. For example, if answer is jewelry, antique jewelry, they can say old jewelry. Or in the audio, they can say 17th century jewelry. 17th century jewelry. 17th century old jewelry, 100 years old jewelry. That means all ancient or something like that. Okay, now they've used the word antique. Antique is something which is unusual. For example, if she says unusual clothes, what does it mean? Antique clothes or unusual clothes, right? Anyways, let's go on.
So you're just visiting this country?
That's right. I come over most summers on business. I'm an interior designer, and I come over to buy old furniture, antiques, you know? There are some really lovely things around here, but you need to get out to the small towns. I've had a really good trip this year, until this happened.
Okay, yes, please. Furniture. Furniture. Okay? Yeah, antique and then the word is furniture. Okay? And one thing remember, a word which is given in the question, on the question booklet, that word will never be the answer. Sometimes you pick up the wrong word from the audio. So just see if the word is already given, that will never be the answer. So correct answer is furniture. Okay, length of stay 2 months. Now after 2 months, there are two type of listenings in IELTS. When they are talking about length of stay, you're listening casually. After that, you know there is an answer. So current address. If when the man says, what's your address, please? Now you are alert. If she says, how long will you stay here? And you know there is no question, then you'll be relaxed. Okay? So one is very attentive listening, one is only attentive listening. Now, current address, dash apartments. Dash apartments means name of the apartment. It can be the name of apartment block. For example, we've got here Spring apartment. We've got Rose apartments or anything like that. And then number is 15, that is already written. Let's see.
It's not information, sir. Number is not information.
No, number is the number of apartment. It's the number of apartment, okay? Yeah.
Okay. So you've been here quite a while?
Yes, I'm here for 2 months. I go back next week.
So may I ask where you're staying now?
Well, at present, I've got a place at Park Apartments. That's on King Street. I was staying at the Riverside Apartments on the same street, but the apartment there was only available for 6 weeks, so I had to find another one.
Okay. And the apartment number?
15.
Right.
Yes, please. Park. Only park. Apartments is written. And she said, I was staying at the Riverside Apartments. I was staying. Now, sometimes when you write park and she says Riverside, and if you don't understand the audio, you will cross park and you will write Riverside. And then you will say, I Canada tomorrow. Direct. Okay? So, right answer is park. Why Riverside is wrong answer? Because she was staying there and then she moved to another one. So, correct answer is park. P-A-R-K. Okay, same parak, Chipas and parak. Okay, yeah. Details of theft. Now, if you imagine a theft took place, details of theft. Items stolen. A wallet containing approximately, and then there is pound sign. What does it mean? Answer will be amount, and amount is always a number. Okay, and as they have written pound sign, will you write pound? No. So answer is just a number. And one thing, a wallet containing approximately. Now, for example, if she say, well, I took out 1,000 pounds from ATM and I had that money in my wallet and I did some shopping, so I spent 300 pounds there, but the remaining amount was in my wallet. How much? 700. So they will talk about 2 to 3 numbers. They will talk about, for example, initially I had 5,000 pounds in my wallet and then I gave 2,000 pounds to my cousin and I did some shopping. So I think they were around 2,400 pounds. So 24, 5,000, this and that. Listen carefully, amount she had in the wallet. Okay. Question number 4.
Now, I need to take some details of the theft. So you said you had some things stolen out of your bag?
That's right.
And were you actually carrying the bag when the theft took place?
Yes, I really can't understand it. I had my backpack on, and I went into a supermarket to buy a few things, and when I opened it up, my wallet wasn't there.
And what did your wallet have in it?
Well, fortunately, I don't keep my credit cards in that wallet. I keep them with my passport in an inside compartment in my backpack. But there was quite a bit of cash there, about 250 pounds sterling, I should think. I withdrew 300 pounds from my account yesterday, but I did a bit of shopping, so I must have already spent about 50 pounds of that.
Okay.
Yes, please. 250 and she withdrew 300 pounds. She did some shopping of 50 pounds. And so in IELTS listening, they always talk like that. Why? Because they want to check your ability to understand the right information from 2 to 3 options. So correct answer is 250, and pound sign is already there, so you don't need to write that. Okay, 250. Question number 5, R dash. So first thing was wallet. Along with the wallet, there was another thing which was stolen. Let's see what that is.
At first I thought, oh, I must have left the wallet back in the apartment. But then I realized my phone had gone as well. It was only a week old, and that's when I realized I'd been robbed. Anyway, at least they didn't take the keys to my rental car.
Yes.
Yes, please. Keys. Keys. Good. At least they didn't take the keys of my rental car. So keys were not taken, right? Exactly. They were not stolen. Correct answer is phone. Okay? Understand now? So IELTS listening is always like this. Even from part 1, it starts like this. Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys. Let's go on. Next, we have date of theft. Very simple in IELTS. Whenever you have to write date, date does not include the year. If there is year, they will write the year, because when they say one word and or a number, if you write, for example, if you write 14th August 1947, it's one word with 2 numbers. 14 is a number, 1947 is a number. So when it is one word and or a number, there'll be only date and month, and the year will be written or there will be no year. Okay, now over here, date of theft. Now, how to write date? Very simple. If the date is 14 August, you can write 1414. August, A-U-G-U-S-T, or A-U-G, short form of August. Or you can write August 14. Or with 14, you can write TH. Writing TH with 14 does not mean you are adding another word with it. No, 14th is a number. 14 or 14th. And whenever there is a number, write a number like we write digits, not in words. Don't write F-O-U-R-T, all that, okay? Be careful with that stuff. Now, let's see date of theft. And again, they will confuse you, right? When were you born? Some people think I was born on 10th August, but that is wrong. Then I asked my father, he said, you were born on 11th of August. Finally, my mom told me I was born in 14th August. Okay? So, let's see. What do they say?
So, you say the theft occurred yesterday?
Yes.
So that was September the 10th?
So, that was September the 10th. So, the right answer is yesterday. Yeah. Why yesterday is wrong answer? Because it's not a date. Yesterday is not a date, okay? September the 10th, he said. But you should write 10 September. And remember one thing, never write article in IELTS listening and in IELTS reading. Because what is article? A, and, the, some. Because of article, because of not writing the article, your answer will never be wrong. But because of writing the article, your answer will be wrong. I tell you how. Answer is, he said the 10th of September, the 10th of September, the, T-H-E, the, it's a word. So if you write the 10th of September, you are writing 2 words, 1 number, wrong answer. Very simple, okay? So be extra careful with that. Next, possible time and place of theft. Location, outside the dash at about 4 p.m. Underline the word outside. Now, for instance, if answer is bank, outside the bank, right? What are the other words to define outside? Outside the bank, in front of the bank, close to the bank, at the gate of the bank, at the entrance to the bank, anything like that, okay? So let's see outside what. Answer is going to be a place.
And do you have any idea at all of where or when the things might possibly have been stolen?
Well, at first I couldn't believe it because the bag had been on my back ever since I left the apartment after lunch. It's just a small backpack, but I generally use it when I'm traveling because it seems safer than a handbag. Anyway, I met up with a friend, and we spent a couple of hours in the museum.
We spent a couple of hours in the museum. Now, by the way, there is a little confusion here. In the museum and outside the museum.
But I do remember that as we were leaving there, at about 4 o'clock, a group of young boys ran...
Okay, as we were leaving there means museum, a group of boys and all that. So the right answer is, now, important point, how do you spell museum? M-U-S-E-U-M. Exactly, museum. Okay, so you should know the spelling of these common words. Next, details of suspect. Some boys asked for the dash and then ran off. Okay, some boys came, they asked for something and then they ran off. So what is it that they asked for? Okay, that'll be the answer.
But I do remember that as we were leaving there, at about 4 o'clock, a group of young boys ran up to us, and they were really crowding round us, and they were asking us what time it was. Then all of a sudden, they ran off.
Yeah, they were asking what time it was, so asked for time, and all of a sudden they ran off, asked for time. Now from this, what do we understand? The thieves in England, they also use the same techniques the thieves use in our country. Right? What do they say? What time is it? You take out your mobile. They take your mobile at gunpoint and they run away. So in England also, they say, Baji time ki hue hai? And then they took her phone and wallet and all that. Anyways, right answer is time. T-I-M-E. And again, I tell you, listening part 1 is ideal to improve your pronunciation. Now, if you are pronouncing Canadian, furniture, park, 250, phone, September, museum, and now time, you improve your pronunciation. Okay, let's go on. Question number 9. One had a t-shirt and picture of tiger. Now underline the word tiger. When she says tiger, be alert. Answer is going to come right after that. Okay, he was about 12. What is 12? Age. Well done. Slim built with dash hair. Simple. Either it's the color of hair or the style of hair, right? With dash hair. Now the hair color will be the answer. Okay.
Can you remember anything about them?
The one who did most of the talking was wearing a t-shirt with a picture of something. Let's see. A tiger.
Right. Any idea of how old he might have been?
Around 12 years old?
And can you remember anything else about his appearance?
Not much. He was quite thin.
Color of hair?
I do remember that. He was blonde. All the others were dark-haired.
Well done. Dark-haired. I Canada tomorrow. He was blonde. All the other ones were dark-haired. So he was blonde. All the other ones were dark-haired. And by the way, dark-haired, how many words? No. You will write it with hyphen. And all the words which are written with hyphen, they are treated as one word. Dark-haired with hyphen. H-A-I-R-E-D, it's one word. Got the point? Dark-haired, huh? Okay, उन्होंने कह दे वो दोबारा चला ले. Speaker को देख के कह रहा है, can you play it? हाँ जी पाइन चलना ज़रा. All right.
Can you remember anything about them?
The one who did most of the talking was wearing a t-shirt with a picture of something. Let's see. A tiger.
Right. Any idea of how old he might have been?
Around 12 years old?
And can you remember anything else about his appearance?
Not much. He was quite thin.
Color of hair?
I do remember that. He was blonde. All the others were dark-haired.
Okay, he was blonde, B-L-O-N-D or with E, B-L-O-N-D-E. Both spelling are correct. Blonde, B-L-O-N-D or B-L-O-N-D-E. So all the other were dark-haired. Sure, listen, there are two words which are joined with a hyphen. For example, dark haired. Now, dark haired is actually, they want to talk about it as one thing. I mean, it's the color of the hair, dark haired. So there they use hyphen. All the words which take hyphen in between, they are treated as one word. Okay, yes. Now, let's go on. We've got the last question. Crime reference number. You know, when you make phone call, a mobile complaint, anything, they give you a reference number, complaint number. Okay? So, complaint number you got to write. Please be careful.
And any details of the others?
Not really. They came and went so quickly.
Right. So, what I'm going to do now is give you a crime reference number so you can contact your insurance company. So, this is 10 digits. 87954 82361.
Thank you.
Okay, what is it? 87954823361. Is there anyone who wrote 10? No. And again there was a trap. They said it's 10 digits. 10 digit means the number contains 10 digits. Okay? Alright. Okay guys, now we've got IELTS listening part 2 and we are going to learn how to deal with double multiple choice questions. Very common question type for part 2 and part 3. We have part 2, double multiple choice questions, and then part 3. In part 2, 4 type of questions are very common. Number 1, single multiple choice. Number 2, double multiple choice. Number 3, map. And number 4, sometimes we have matching. I'll explain. We do have matching here as well, okay? So, see, मैंने इजाज़त क्या दी, नाली उन्होंने मच्छियाँ कट ली हैं. Okay, section 2, induction talk for new apprentices. Induction talk. Induction talk means it's a sort of a presentation. The new workers, when they come to join a company, they give them a presentation. So that is induction talk for new apprentices. Apprentices are people who are on training. Internship, exactly. Okay, choose 2 letters A to E. When they say choose 1 letter, it's single multiple choice. Choose 2 letters, double multiple choice. Which 2 pieces of advice for the first week of apprenticeship does the manager give? Now underline 2 pieces of advice. Then underline first week of apprenticeship. And then underline manager. So, manager is going to give 2 pieces of advice. Now listen to me, they have given 5 pieces of advice. In the audio, they will talk about all 5 things. Then how do you understand that out of 5, which 2 options are right? Always remember, in multiple choice questions, whenever an option is wrong, they talk about it negatively, or they talk about it oppositely, or they use a word, we'd considered. We'd considered. We wanted to. For example, if I say, just tell me where am I going? Right? Where am I going? London, New York, Paris. Where am I going? Okay. Now someone comes and says, Asad, are you going to Paris? Now some will think, oh, Paris, he's going to Paris. If I say, well, first I wanted to go there, but I have changed my plans. What does it mean? Paris is not the right answer. So you need to cross the wrong answer. Once you realize Paris is not the right answer, you need to cross it. Okay, then I say, well, I wanted to go to London because my uncle lives there. But in fact, my uncle is on holidays to New York. So I'm going to meet him there. What is the answer? That's the point. Okay, so when you read the options, you need to see what can be the positive and what can be the negative of this option. Once you read it like this, you will find the answer. Now please come to it. Option A, get to know colleagues. And by the way, first week, keep first week in mind. If he says from the second week onwards, you will get to know your colleagues, will it be the answer? No. Right? And if he says when it is the first week, you don't need to worry about getting to know your colleagues. You will do that later. Will that be the answer? No. So this is how they speak because it is first week. Right? Option B. Learn from mistakes. So if he says in the first week you will learn from your mistakes, then this is the right answer. But if he says, well, for the first week there is no problem if you don't learn anything from your mistakes, later on you can do that. So you need to see whether this is positive or negative. Option C, ask lots of questions. So if he says, well, as this is your first week, so you can ask as many questions as you want to in order to learn, then this is the right answer. Otherwise, this is not the right one. Option D, react positively to feedback. So if he says you will be given feedback by your seniors and you have to act upon it and you have to take it positive, then this is the right answer. And if he doesn't say like this, then it's the wrong answer. Option E, enjoy new challenges. So if he says in the first week there will be new challenges and you should enjoy, then this is the right answer. And if he says later on there will be some challenges and you will learn to enjoy them after a couple of months, so then it's not that. So whatever happens in the first week will be your answer. Whatever will not happen in the first week or whatever will happen later on, that will not be your answer. Okay. And one more thing. All 5 options will be discussed in any order. So do not expect that first A, then B, then C, then D. No, they may start from option E. Then they go to option A. So when they talk about colleagues, it's option A. When they talk about questions, it's option. When they talk about challenges, it's option E. So this is how you catch the option. Okay. Now I play the audio, listen, and you will give me 2 options, A, B, C, D, E as the right answer.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Janet Parker, and I'm the Human Resources Manager. We're very happy to welcome you to your new apprenticeship. I hope that the next 6 months will be a positive and enjoyable experience for you. I'd like to start with some general advice about being an apprentice. Most of you have very little or no experience of working for a big organisation, and the first week or so may be quite challenging. There will be a lot of new information to take in, but don't worry too much about trying to remember everything. The important thing is to check with someone if you're not sure what to do. You'll find your supervisor is very approachable and won't mind explaining things or helping you out. You're here to learn. So make the most of that opportunity. You'll be spending time in different departments during your first week, so make an effort to talk to as many people as possible about their work. You'll make some new friends and find out lots of useful information.
Yes, please. A and E. Okay. A, get to know colleagues. You'll meet lots of people. Right? And the second correct answer is ask lots of questions. It's option C. Okay, now listen. In this case, if your answer contains 1 right option and 1 wrong option, you will get 1 mark for it. If it is 2 questions, and if it is 1 question and you need 2 options and 1 option is right, 1 is wrong, then you will not get any mark. Sure. Let's just do it.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Janet Parker, and I'm the Human Resources Manager. We're very happy to welcome you to your new apprenticeship. I hope that the next 6 months will be a positive and enjoyable experience for you. I'd like to start with some general advice about being an apprentice. Most of you have very little or no experience of working for a big organisation, and the first week or so may be quite challenging.
Okay, first week also may be quite challenging, but she didn't say you enjoy new challenges. First week will be challenging, that's it. And if she says first week will be challenging and you will enjoy new challenges, then this is the right answer. Okay, challenging is mentioned, but enjoy or not to enjoy, that is not mentioned. So E is the wrong answer.
There will be a lot of new information to take in, but don't worry too much about trying to remember everything.
Okay, there's a lot of new information to take in, but don't try to remember all that stuff. So option B, learn from any mistakes, they didn't mention that. Okay. let's go on.
The important thing is to check with someone if you're not sure what to do.
The important thing is to check with someone if you are not sure to do. Ask lots of questions. When you check with someone if you're not sure to do, what will you do? You will ask questions. How to do this work? What about this job? How to do this job? So check with someone is the synonym of ask lots of questions. C is the first right answer.
You'll find your supervisor is very approachable and won't mind explaining things or helping you out. You're here to learn, so make the most of that opportunity.
You are here to learn, so make the most of that opportunity. Did they talk about learning from mistakes? They talked about learn, but they didn't say mistakes. So you are here to learn, make the most out of it. Means not learning from mistakes. So the word mistakes is not given. That's why B is not the right answer. Now listen to option A.
You'll be spending time in different departments during your first week, so make an effort to talk to as many people as possible about their work.
Okay, make an effort to talk to as many people as possible about their work. What is that? That is exactly get to know colleagues. For colleagues, they use the word people. Right? Okay, just a second. Okay, so correct answer C, A or AC, and you can write it in any order. 11A, 12C or 11C, 12A, both ways it's right. Questions 13 and 14. Choose two letters. Which two things does the manager say mentors can help with? Underline two things. Underline managers say. Underline mentors can help. Now listen, out of 5 things where mentors can help you, those two things will be the right answer. Where mentors cannot help you, you have to help yourself or your colleague will help you, right? That will not be the answer. So where mentor can, for example, option A, confidence building. If they say, as far as confidence building is concerned, this is something which you can do on your own. A mentor cannot do that for you. Okay, so what's the question? Two things does the manager say mentor can help. If confidence building, mentor cannot help, that will not be the answer. Option B, making career plans. If they say your mentor will guide you about your future and about your career, so then this is the right answer. Okay. Option C, completing difficult tasks. And if they say there'll be many difficult tasks which you can complete with the help of your mentor, then this is the right answer. And if they say there are several difficult tasks which you will have to accomplish on your own, I'm afraid your mentor will not be there for you. So just like this, where mentor will help, that is the answer. Where mentor cannot do anything, that is not the answer. Option D, making weekly timetable. And option E, reviewing progress. So out of 5 things, there are 2 things where mentor will help you. That is the answer. Where mentor cannot help you, that is not the answer.
As well as having a supervisor, you'll each be assigned a mentor. This person will be someone who's recently completed an apprenticeship, and you'll meet with them on a weekly basis. Their role is to provide help and support throughout your apprenticeship. Of course, this doesn't mean they'll actually do any of your work for you. Instead, they'll be asking you about what goals you've achieved so far, as well as helping you to identify any areas for improvement. You can also discuss your more long-term ambitions with them as well.
Answer came in the last 2 sentences. Option B for boy and option E. Okay, well done. E for elephant. B is making career plans and E is reviewing progress. And by the way, they didn't use the word review progress. They didn't use the word make career plans. Right? Now I play it again and I'll just stop where there is the
answer. As well as having a supervisor, you'll each be assigned a mentor. This person will be someone who's recently completed an apprenticeship, and you'll meet with them on a weekly basis. Their role is to provide help and support throughout your apprenticeship. Of course, this doesn't mean they'll actually do any of your work for you.
Okay, actually this doesn't mean they will actually do any of your work for you. So completing difficult tasks, they will not do it. It's not that.
Instead, they'll be asking you about what goals you've achieved so far.
Instead, they'll be asking you what goals you've achieved so far. That is reviewing progress. What goals you've achieved so far, and
as well as helping you to identify any areas for improvement.
identifying any areas for improvement. So that is reviewing progress. Now they talk about making career plans.
As helping you to identify any areas for improvement. You can also discuss your more long-term ambitions with them as well.
Okay, you can also discuss your more long-term ambitions with them. What is that? Career plans. Long-term ambitions and career plans, right? Through practice, you'll be fine. Okay, don't worry. Okay, now we've got questions 15 to 20 and they are matching type of questions. Read the question carefully. What does manager say, underline manager say, about each of the following aspects of the company? Underline aspects of company. Underline aspects of company policy. Okay, so you will match aspects of company policy with manager. What does manager say? It means the comments of manager, right? Now, what are the comments? Option A, it is encouraged. For it is encouraged, they can use the word we motivate you, we appreciate you to do it, you should do it, it is good for you. What does it mean? It is encouraged, right? Option B, there are some restrictions. Some restrictions means you can do it, but there are some restrictions. For example, if they say in the office we have very fast internet and you can use it, but please don't use social media. What is that? Some restrictions. Got it? For example, they say that there is a coffee machine there and you can drink as much coffee as possible, but please don't drink more than 3 cups a day. What is the restriction? Not 3 cups, not more than 3 cups, okay? Option C, it's against the rule. Now, against the rule. For example, if I say you cannot use mobile phone during the class, means it is against the rule. And if I say during the class you can use mobile, but please don't use internet. What is that? Some restrictions. I really motivate you or encourage you or appreciate you if you use your mobiles during the class, you can understand the lesson better. Got the point? Encouraged. And for encouraged, they will use other words. For restrictions, they will use other words. And last is against the rule. For against the rule, say you mustn't do it. It's against the law. It's against company policy. No one should do that. Anything like that. Now, question number 15. What is it? Using internet. And make it a habit in IELTS listening. When you read the question, don't read article. They have written question. What does the manager say about each of the following aspects of the company policy? How many articles are there? 3. What does the manager say about the following aspects of the company policy? Make it a habit to read like, what does manager say about each of following aspects of company policy? Option A, using internet. Instead of using the internet, just read it as use internet. So ignore the article in IELTS listening and IELTS reading. Let's see, what do they say about it?
Now, I just want to run through a few company policies for our apprenticeship scheme with you. Most importantly, the internet. As part of your job, you'll be doing some research online. So obviously, you'll have unlimited access for that. But please don't use it for personal use. You'll have your own phones for that.
Don't use it for personal use. What is that? Restriction. Got the point? Yeah, so correct answer is B. Good job. Question number 16, flexible working. Now let's see what do they say about flexible working.
Some of you have already asked me about flexible working. After your probationary 3-month period, some of you will be eligible for this, but it will depend on which department you're in and what your personal circumstances are. So please don't assume you'll automatically be permitted to do this.
It's again B. It depends on which department you are in and what your personal circumstances are. And what is that? Restrictions. Which department? For example, if you are from English department, you cannot do it. If you're from science department, you cannot do it. So it depends on which department you are in and what your personal circumstances are. They are restrictions. Question number 17. Booking holidays. Booking holidays means you're going on vacation to Murray and other stuff, other places like that.
I want to make sure there's no confusion about our holiday policy. Apart from any statutory public holidays, we ask that you don't book any holidays until after your 6-month apprenticeship has finished. Time off should only be taken if you are unwell. Please speak to your supervisor.
You don't book any holidays. What is that? It is against the rules. Option C, you don't book any holidays. It is encouraged? No. Because she said you don't book any holidays. There are some restrictions? No. She said you don't book any holidays. Okay, if she would have said you can book holidays only in case of this and that, but she said you don't book. So don't means it's against the rule. Question number 18, working overtime.
You'll be expected to work a 40-hour week, but there may be opportunities to do overtime during busy periods. Although you're not required to do this, it can be a valuable experience. So we advise you to take it up if possible.
We advise you to take it up if possible. Encouraged. And for encouraged they used we advise you. So once you understand this language of audio and the language of question booklet. Okay, wearing trainers. Trainers are shoes, type of shoes.
As you know, we don't have a formal dress code here. You may wear casual clothes as long as they're practical. And the only restriction for shoes we have is on high heels for health and safety reasons. Comfortable shoes like trainers are preferable.
Comfortable shoes like trainers are preferable. Preferable means it is encouraged. Right? Listen to it again. I think you confused yourself.
As you know, we don't have a formal dress code here. You may wear casual clothes as long as they're practical.
We are concerned about trainers only. We are not concerned about clothes because question number 19 is wearing trainers. Yeah.
And the only restriction for shoes we have is on high heels.
Now, have they written high heels here? It's about trainers. So wait for that. It's not that. Restrictions. Be good. Right? Be careful. Yeah.
For health and safety reasons. Comfortable shoes like trainers are preferable.
Okay. Comfortable shoes like trainers are preferable. Preferable means encouraged. Good. Question number 20. Bringing food to work. Now let's see. They allow or there are some restrictions and all that.
There's a heavily subsidised canteen on site where you can get hot meals or salads cheaply. Snacks and drinks are also provided, so we've decided to introduce a no-packed lunch policy. This is partly to encourage healthy eating at work and partly to stop people from eating at their workstation, which is unhygienic.
No.
Okay,
Chup kar ja. No packed lunch policy. Now what is packed lunch? Packed lunch is that you bring from your house. So she said we have introduced no packed lunch policy. Sorry, no packed lunch policy. Bringing food to work, option C. Why C? Why C? Because no packed lunch policy. Listen.
There's a heavily subsidised canteen on site where you can get hot meals or salads cheaply. Snacks and drinks are also provided, so we've decided to introduce a no-packed lunch policy.
Okay, we have decided to introduce a no packed lunch policy. No means against the rule. You know, no smoking. What does it mean? Smoking is against the rule. Yeah, exactly. Okay, thank you. Well, guys, IELTS listening part 3. IELTS listening part 3 is for multiple choice questions mainly. Out of 3, you have to select one option. Number 1. Number 2, double multiple choice questions. Number 3, matching type of questions. And if you are lucky, then you will get sentence completion in part 3 also. There are some Cambridge tests where in part 3 they have sentence completion. Okay. But anyways, cities built by sea. So which city has been built by sea in Pakistan? Karachi. Gwadar. Gwadar is city built by sea, okay? So you should also comment the name of the city built by sea, huh? Want to know that. Anyways, now the whole talk is about cities built by sea. In IELTS listening part 3, there may be up to 4 speakers who are talking. Mainly 3, 1 tutor and 2 students. And students are mostly male female, so that you identify their voice and their name and all that. Okay, so in part 3 there'll be a lecture, and it's educational, by the way. Part 4 is always a lecture, and part 3 is also educational. Students are discussing their studies, because you are supposed to study in a foreign country. So that's why IELTS listening part 1 and part 4, they are educational. Part 1 and part 2, they are social. In part 1, you know, mobile number, apartment name, this and that. So that is social, okay? Anyways, let's go on. Now we have cities built by sea. Question number 21, Carla and Rob. What is that? Names. So Carla is male name or female? Male. Oh, we'll wait for that. Okay, yeah. Like you say, Kosser, male or female? Both. It depends. Yeah. Okay, Carla and Rob were surprised. Underline Carla and Rob surprised. And what is surprised? Oh, hi. Okay, so where both were surprised, that'll be the answer. If Carla was surprised and Rob says, I was expecting that, will that be the answer? No. If Rob was surprised and Carla says, I knew that already and that's normal, that will not be the answer. Where both were surprised, that will be the answer. Now, what is that? Carla and Rob were surprised to learn about coastal cities. What do they mean by coastal cities? Cities built by sea. You know, we have coastal highway. Highway along the sea. That is called coastal highway. So what were they surprised about? And underline coastal cities. Coastal cities are cities built by sea. Contain nearly half the world's population. Underline half world's population. Now listen, if in the audio they say that coastal cities contain half of the world's population and I didn't know that, that's alarming. And the other person says, me neither. Yeah, it's a surprising factor. Then this can be the right answer. And if they say, well, half of the people live in the cities, and that's not coastal cities only, that's all the cities. Will it be the answer? No, because all the cities. And this option is about coastal cities. Option B, include most of world's largest cities. If in the audio they say most of the largest cities of the world are the cities by sea. Okay, what's the largest city of Pakistan? And where is it? Coastal city. Okay, so you found the answer. Let's go on. Option C, are growing twice as fast as other cities. Means coastal cities are growing as fast as, twice as fast. Twice as fast means double. The speed, the growth rate of coastal cities, that is double the speed of normal cities. Okay. Now again, Carla and Rob were surprised. What was normal for them, that will not be the answer here.
Okay, so what I'd like you to do now is to talk to your partner about your presentations on urban planning. You should have done most of the reading now, so I'd like you to share your ideas and talk about the structure of your presentation and what you need to do next.
Okay, Rob, I'm glad we chose quite a specific topic, cities built next to the sea. It made it much easier to find relevant information.
Yeah, and cities are growing so quickly. I mean, we know that more than half the world's population lives in cities now.
Yeah, though that's all cities, not just ones on the coast. But most of the biggest cities are actually built by the sea. I'd not realised that before.
Nor me.
I have not realized that before. What is it? Surprising? Nor me. I have not. So that is what we call surprised. Surprised means I have not realized that before. So which option? B. Now please write a code CAB. What is CAB? This is the arrangement of audio. First they discussed option C, then they discussed option A, and then they discussed option B. Now please listen.
Okay, so what I'd like you to do now is to talk to your partner about your presentations on urban planning. You should have done most of the reading now, so I'd like you to share your ideas and talk about the structure of your presentation and what you need to do next.
Okay, Rob, I'm glad we chose quite a specific topic. Cities built next to the sea. It made it much easier to find relevant information.
Yeah, and cities are growing so quickly. I mean,
Cities are growing so quickly. Now listen, what is missing? Comparison. Twice as fast as other cities. Cities are growing quickly, but he didn't mention twice as fast. And for him, it's not surprising. He said cities are growing quickly. It's normal thing. So C is not the right answer. Now please come to option A.
we know that more than half the world's population lives in cities now.
Yeah, though that's all cities, not just ones on the coast.
Okay, more than half world's population live in the city. She said that's all cities, not the ones on the coast. So option A, contain nearly half the world's population. Coastal cities contain half of the world population? No, cities contain half of the world's population. That's why this is the wrong option as well. Now come to option B.
But most of the biggest cities are actually built by the sea. I'd not realised that before.
Nor me.
Most of the big cities are built by the sea. I have not realized that before, nor me. Okay? So that is surprising. B is the right answer. Question number 22. According to Rob, building coastal cities near to rivers. Now they will talk about coastal cities near to river. There is one river in Lahore. Which one? Ravi. And there is one society on the bank of that river. Gulshan-e-Ravi as well. Okay, Gulshan-e-Ravi is just on the Ravi bank, and Shadra is there as well. Now, according to Rob, building coastal cities near to rivers, option A, may bring pollution to cities. Underline bring pollution. That's it. If they build cities near the rivers, it will bring pollution. Option B, reduce land for agriculture. If you build cities by the river, because most of the land by the river is agriculture land. So reduce land for agriculture. May mean the countryside is spoiled by industry. Underline countryside spoiled by industry. What is countryside? Villages. Okay, and spoiled by industry. If you build cities by the river, because mostly there are some villages by the river, so you will spoil that. Now, according to Rob, what does it mean? You will listen to Rob carefully. Now for the time being, ignore Carla and listen to Rob.
And what's more, a lot of them are built at places where rivers come out into the sea, but apparently this can be a problem.
Why?
Well, as the city expands, agriculture and industry tend to spread further inland along the rivers, and so agriculture moves even further inland up the river. That's not necessarily a problem, except it means more and more pollutants are discharged into the rivers.
So these are brought downstream to the cities?
Right.
So, A. He talked about B. And after that, that's not necessarily be a problem, but it will discharge more and more pollutants. So, option A may bring pollution to cities. Question number 23. What mistake? Shall I play it again? Okay. It's BA, right? Yeah, they talked about B and then A.
And what's more, a lot of them are built at places where rivers come out into the sea, but apparently this can be a problem.
Why?
Well, as the city expands, agriculture and industry tend to spread further inland along the rivers, and so agriculture moves even further inland up the river. That's not necessarily a problem.
That's not a problem. He talked about industry, he talked about agriculture, and then he said that's not a problem. So they usually deny options after saying that's not a problem, that's not necessary, that's not possible, or we'd considered that, we'd thought, and even then after that there is a wrong answer. And then they talk about
Except it means more and more pollutants are discharged into the rivers.
more pollutants are discharged into the river, that is pollution. Okay, what mistake was made when building water drainage? Underline mistake. Water drainage in Miami. So they made a mistake while building a water drainage in Miami. What was that? Option A, not enough of them. Tell me what is them. Water drainage channels. Water drainage channels. Yeah. Channels more like, what do we call it? Roi Nala, something like that. Yeah, Ganda Nala channel sort of thing. Yeah. That was water drainage. Water drainage, okay, for dirty water maybe. Channels. So option A, there were not enough of them. For example, if they say they needed 1,000 channels there, but they made only 200. So what does it mean? They were not enough of them. Of them means water drainage channels. Option B, they were made. They means water drainage. You should know this thing. Otherwise, you will not understand the question. So they were made of unsuitable material. For example, they say these drainage channels were made of plastic instead of concrete, and the plastic melted, something like that. So it means unsuitable material, plastic. Okay? So underline unsuitable material. Option C, they did not allow. They means water drainage channels did not allow for the effects of climate change. Underline not allow, effects of climate change. And give me another word for climate change. Global warming. In IELTS, whenever they use the word global warming, it means climate change. Whenever they use the word climate change, it means global warming. So if they talk about global warming of these channels, then it is C. If they talk about material, concrete, plastic, then it is B. All right, now what mistake? Out of 3, we will see what was the mistake in the construction of that.
Did you read that article about Miami on the east coast of the USA?
No.
Well, apparently back in the 1950s, they built channels to drain away the water in case of flooding.
Sounds sensible.
Yeah, they spent quite a lot of money on them, but what they didn't take into account was global warming. So they built the drainage channels too close to sea level, and now sea levels are rising, they're more or less useless. If there's a lot of rain, the water can't run away. There's nowhere for it to go. The whole design was faulty.
C, exactly. The whole design was faulty. They did not consider climate change. Just listen to this part where they mentioned.
Did you read that article about Miami on the east coast of the USA?
No.
Well, apparently back in the 1950s, they built channels to drain away the water in case of flooding.
Sounds sensible.
Yeah, they spent quite a lot of money on them, but what they didn't take into account was global warming.
What they didn't take into account was global warming. Now listen, mistake and didn't take into account. They are similar words, okay? So answer is climate change, option C. Question number 24. What do Rob and Carla think that authorities in Miami should do immediately? Now both of them think and they should do immediately. Now what they say, they should do it next year. Will that be the answer? No. If they say they should do it after 5 years. No. If they say they should have done it in the past. No. What they say, they should do it quickly. They should do it sooner. They should do it in no time. That'll be your answer. So words like that. And what are the actions? Take measures to restore ecosystem. Underline restore ecosystem. Pay for new flood prevention system. Pay and flood prevention system. And option C, stop disposing of waste materials into ocean. Stop disposing waste in oceans. Okay. So what is it that they should do? Immediately. Foreign.
So, what are the authorities doing about it now?
I don't know. I did read that they're aiming to stop disposing of wastewater into the ocean over the next 10 years.
But that won't help with flood prevention now, will it?
No, really, they just need to find the money for something to replace the drainage channels in order to protect against flooding now. But in the long term, they need to consider the whole ecosystem.
Right.
In the long term, they need to consider the whole ecosystem. Long term. That is not A. And the audio went like CBA. First they discussed option C, then B, and then A. Now why C is wrong? Stop disposing of waste materials into ocean?
So, what are the authorities doing about it now?
I don't know. I did read that they're aiming to stop disposing of wastewater into the ocean over the next 10 years.
Over the next 10 years. That's why it is wrong. Because question is immediately, right? Now come to option B.
But that won't help with flood prevention now, will it?
No, really, they just need to find the money for something to replace the drainage channels in order to protect against flooding now.
In order to protect against the flooding now. Now means immediately and get the money. That is option B. And why C is A is wrong?
But in the long term, they need to consider the whole ecosystem.
In the long term, yeah. Thank goodness. Mashallah, you're active, huh? Good job. Question number 25. What do they agree should be priority for international action? Now underline, they agree priority for international action. Greater coordination of activities. Underline, greater coordination means countries of the world should work together. Greater coordination. Option B, more sharing of information. Simple. More sharing of information means they should share their reports, data, and all that. And option C, agreement on shared policies. That they have some shared policies and they should agree on that. So, what do they agree? Means Carla and Rob.
Really though, coastal cities can't deal with their problems on their own, can they? I mean, they've got to start acting together at an international level instead of just doing their own thing.
Absolutely. The thing is, everyone knows what the problems are, and environmentalists have a pretty good idea of what we should be doing about them, so they should be able to work together to some extent. But it's going to be a long time before countries come to a decision on what principles they're prepared to abide by.
Yeah, if they ever do.
Okay, what do they agree should be priority? Yeah. Alright, I'll play it again for you. Please listen. Yeah, it's
really though, coastal cities can't deal with their problems on their own, can they? I mean, they've got to start acting together at an international level.
They got to start acting together at an international level. What is that? Greater coordination of activities.
Instead of just doing their own thing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely means they agree. Exactly. Okay. But don't worry. And one thing, you cannot avoid multiple choice questions. If you say, मेरे एग्जाम में तो आना ही नहीं है, जो कहेगा ना मेरे एग्जाम में आना ही नहीं, उसके एग्जाम में ज़्यादा आएगा. जिसको चुड़ैल से डर लगता है ना, उसकी ज़िंदगी में चुड़ैल आ जाती है शादी के बाद या पहले या जो भी है. ठीक है, तो जिस चीज़ से आप डरेंगे वो चीज़ आपके उतना ही ज़्यादा होगी. वो एक भाई थे, उन्होंने बड़ा ना कहा कि वो इनकी कज़न थी, एक नहीं कज़न होती जो बाजी होती हैं, तो कहते थे जो मर्ज़ी हो जाए, जिधर मर्ज़ी हो जाए, मैं शादी नहीं करूँगा, इसके साथ नहीं करनी. और माशाल्लाह दोनों की शादी को आज कितने साल हो गए? 11-12 साल हो गए तकरीबन. ठीक है, तो जिस चीज़ को इंसान कहते हैं ना मैं अवॉइड करूँगा, नहीं करूँगा, वही चीज़ फिर ज़िंदगी में आ जाती है. तो मल्टीपल चॉइस को अवॉइड नहीं करना, मल्टीपल चॉइस की प्रैक्टिस करनी और इंशाल्लाह हो जाएगा. आपको समझ आ जिस दिन आपको ये पता चल गया ना कि ABC में से रॉन्ग ऑप्शन कौन सा है, उस दिन आपका आंसर ठीक हो जाएगा. ठीक है, क्योंकि जब भी आप किसी आंसर को राइट करते हैं ना, आप रॉन्ग वाले को ही राइट करते हैं. क्यों करते हैं? आपको ये नहीं पता कि राइट कौन सा है, रॉन्ग कौन सा है. और अगेन अगर रोज़ के 2 लिस्टिंग टेस्ट करेंगे ना, आहिस्ता आहिस्ता ये चीज़ें आपको पल्ले पड़ना शुरू हो जाएंगी, समझ आनी शुरू हो जाएगी. ठीक है, सो डोंट वरी. ऑलराइट यासीन, कज़न मैरिज, या थैंक यू. It's gone there. Okay, yeah. Now we've got again matching type of questions. So the question is, what decision do students make about each of following parts of their presentation? Decisions and parts of presentation. Okay, now tell me, if you're given half minute to read the questions, will you read parts of presentation or will you read decisions? Yes, because information is in decisions, and sometimes information is in questions and options have got only the other. So in that case, you will read the questions. For example, if I read question number 26, historical background, geographical factor, past mistake, I'm not getting any information. But when I read option A, use visuals. Now what does it mean, use visuals? PowerPoint presentation, pictures, images, footage, video, and all that. Option B, keep it short. Now, if for example, say this part of your presentation is very long, so I think you need to cut down some details. What does it mean? Keep it short. And they will not use the same language. For example, question 26, historical background, use visual. Option A, okay? Question 27, geographical factors, keep it short. B, A and B and all that. They will not talk like this, okay? They will actually use synonyms, paraphrasing, rewording. For example, pencil or lead pencil, they are same. Okay, but if they say, well, there is a sort of thing which we use to write stuff and that is removable. What is that? Pencil. Okay, there is a sort of thing we use to write stuff and which is removable, that is pencil. So IELTS, the mindset is like this, crazy mindset. This is crazy. I mean, for example, instead of using the word glass, they use the word a container which is used to hold liquids. Yeah, container which is hold. This is stupid. Why don't you use the word glass? If in multiple choice options they do not use rewording, paraphrasing, you will find all the answers. Why? Because they change the wording, language, and then you don't find. But anyways, you have no choice. Okay? So, option C, involve other students. Very simple. Interact with the students. You can ask them questions or you can allow the students to ask you the questions. Anything about students, and for students they can use the word audience. You can ask the audience. You can allow the audience to ask you. Someone from the audience can talk about that. Okay? Option D, check the information is accurate. Check the information is accurate means check if it's the right information, not wrong, and all that. Okay? Option E, provide a handout. Provide a handout. For handout, they can use the word, you can give 1-page leaflet to all the participants and all that. Thank you. Focus on one example. For example, if they say, well, we'll talk about America, Canada, New York, they say, no, that's not good. You should be specific about one country, for example. So that means focus, one example. Option G, do online research. Very simple. You should check it on the internet. You should check it on the internet. Or you can check a couple of websites. Or you should consult the website. Website means do online research. Now, question number 26, historical background. Your this hand will be here. The pencil hand will move between the options and then you will see which option is the right one. Okay? Yeah.
So, I think we've probably got enough for our presentation. It's only 15 minutes.
Okay, so I suppose we'll begin with some general historical background about why coastal cities were established. But we don't want to spend too long on that. The other students will already know a bit about it. It's all to do with communications and so on.
Yes.
We don't want to spend too long on that and all that. Option B, keep it short. Well done. Question number 27, geographical factors.
We should mention some geographical factors, things like wetlands and river estuaries and coastal erosion and so on. We could have some maps of different cities with these features marked.
On a handout, you mean? Or some slides everyone can see?
Yeah, that'd be better.
Some slides everyone can see. On a handout, you mean? Some slides. What is slides? That is A. Use visual. And handout was a question on a handout. Okay, listen again.
We should mention some geographical factors, things like wetlands and river estuaries and coastal erosion and so on. We could have some maps of different cities with these features marked.
On a handout, you mean? Or some slides everyone can see?
Yeah, that'd be better.
That'd be better. First handouts and then slides. So that'd be better means slides would be better. And what is slides? Visuals. Past mistakes. Let's see what do they say about past mistakes.
It'd be good to go into past mistakes in a bit more detail. Did you read that case study of the problems there were in New Orleans with flooding a few years ago?
Yes, we could use that as the basis for that part of the talk. I don't think the other students will have read it, but they'll remember hearing about the flooding at the time.
Okay. So that's probably enough background.
F. Why F? Because New Orleans. They talked about New Orleans. New Orleans is one example. Okay? So correct answer for 28 is F. And if you noticed, audio is going fast.
It'd be good to go into past mistakes in a bit more detail. Did you read that case study of the problems there were in New Orleans with flooding a few years ago?
Yes, we could use that as the base.
Okay, so case study of New Orleans. Case study of New Orleans means focus on one example. And what is that example? Flood in New Orleans. New Orleans is in America. Question number 29, future risks.
So then we'll go on to talk about what action's been taken to deal with the problems of coastal cities.
Okay. What else do we need to talk about? Maybe something on future risks, looking more at the long term if populations continue to grow?
Yeah, we'll need to do a bit of work there. I haven't got much information. Have you?
No, we'll need to look at some websites. Shouldn't take too long.
Okay.
We'll need to take a look at some websites. So that is do online research. Answer is G. Last 30. International implications.
And I think we should end by talking about international implications. Maybe we could ask people in the audience. We've got people from quite a lot of different places.
That'd be interesting if we have time, yes. So now...
Oh, chup kar ja. When I say, okay, that's right. See, we can ask the audience, and audience is involve other students. Okay, that's good. Come the time roti na khaya karo. Okay, now we've got IELTS listening part 4, and remember, if you do badly in part 3, don't worry, in part 4 you can get it back. Part 4, 90% it is one word only. One word only. That's it. Nothing else. And in part 4, there is always a lecture. And that lecture is in academic context. For example, marine renewable energy. What is that? Ocean energy. And what is ocean energy? Instead of making dams, they are generating electricity from sea. So that is what they call marine renewable energy. Okay, now there is a lecture and the question type is notes completion. They have given some notes with blanks and you got to complete them. Can you see there are 4 parts of the lecture? First part is introduction. Second, third, and last, ocean thermal energy. And in tidal energy, they have advantages and other stuff like that. Now, they will give you 1 minute to read questions 31 to 40. Okay, they will not give you time in the middle. They will say you now have 1 minute to look at questions 31 to 40, and then the lecture will go on and on and on. That's why, because there is no break in the middle, some students say part 4 is very fast. It's not fast, it's fluent. And because there is no break, they go on and on and on. That's why they think that it is extra fluent, 1.25, 1.15, but it's never 1.25. It's always one speed. Okay. Alright, now what to do? Very simple. They have the blanks. Whatever is written before the blank or after the blank, the synonym of that word, and the answer will come right after that. I'll prove it to you. Introduction. More energy required because of growth in population. Now look here. There are 2 reasons. Reason number 1, growth in population. And dash. Now what is dash? Reason number 2. Okay, so whatever they say after growth in population, whatever they say after that or before that, that will be your answer. And how many words? One word only. Okay, focus now.
Producing enough energy to meet our needs has become a serious problem. Demand is rising rapidly because of the world's increasing population and expanding industry. Burning fossil fuels like gas, coal...
Expanding? Okay, so full answer is expanding. Yeah. If you write expanding industry, your right answer will be wrong. Why wrong? Because it is one word only. In the audio, listen, please listen, I tell you.
World's increasing population and expanding industry.
Industry, that's it. They spoke singular word very clearly. In actual exam, you will be given headphones and you will be crystal clear about industry or industries. Yes. Sorry? Yes. Yeah, that is for growth in population. Yeah. Okay. Now, in part 4, there is one thing which I call signposting. Because in part 4, this is possible that you are behind the audio or ahead of the audio. For example, you are waiting for question number 32 and the audio has reached to question number 33. This is possible. So in order to avoid that, I give you a very nice technique. Can you see the second bullet point of introduction? That is pollution. Create pollution. Underline that. Now, wave energy. In the audio, they will say clearly, now let's talk about wave energy. Or now we discuss wave energy. Or they will say next wave energy. It means they are here. Advantage. Waves provide a dash source of renewable energy. Now underline waves provide. Now a dash source of renewable energy. Listen up. Answer will come with the word source. For example, waves provide renewable energy and that is permanent. That source is permanent. What will be the answer? Permanent will be the answer. So the word will come with source. And they will, for example, that's the permanent source. Answer is permanent. That source is permanent. Source is permanent, permanent source, something like that. Okay. Now I play the audio. Please listen and find. An answer will come with source. And it is the advantage.
For a number of years now, scientists have been working out how we can derive energy from renewable sources, such as the sun and wind, without causing pollution. Today, I'll outline marine renewable energy, also called ocean energy, which harnesses the movement of the oceans. Marine renewable energy can be divided into 3 main categories: wave energy, tidal energy, and ocean thermal energy conversion. And I'll say a few words about each one. First, wave energy. Numerous devices have been invented to harvest wave energy, with names such as Wave Dragon, the Penguin, and Mighty Whale. And research is going on to try and come up with a really efficient method. This form of energy has plenty of potential, as the source is constant, and there's no danger of...
As the source is constant. By एक sentence था जिसमें answer था. As the source is constant means constant source. So you noticed one thing. They said I will talk about wave energy, tidal energy, and ocean thermal energy. Then he said first of all. So this is called signposting. First of all, secondly, an answer came in one sentence only. So you have to listen to the audio patiently. Sometimes audio will go on for 30 seconds and then answer will come. Okay, so out of frustration, don't write any other word. And you will see, you will see a lot of fools around you in actual exam. Say, he's writing, but answer has not come. Okay, yeah, people will be writing, and those people would be with necktie and proper suiting and all that, because they believe from IELTS examination room directly they will go to the airport. So yeah, when you go for your IELTS exam, you can wear t-shirt, trouser, even you can wear flip-flops or whatever you're comfortable in, right? It's not that you're wearing new shoes, tie, and during the test you're doing like this, or your shoes are pinching. Okay, they will not allow you to remove your shoes because of the reasons of your socks. So be careful. Anyways, problems. Now, what are the problems? And one more thing, onshore system, underline onshore. When in the audio they talk about onshore, it means they have reached their problems. Waves can move in any. I give you a very nice tip. Imagine waves. Waves can move in any. Underline the word move and then underline the word any. For move, they can use the word go. For any, they can use the word every. Got it? Any, every. So let's see. For instance, answer is place. Waves can move in any place. So waves can go in every place. For example, right? Like this.
For a number of years now, electricity can be generated using onshore systems, using a reservoir or offshore systems. But the problem with ocean waves is that they're erratic, with the wind making them travel in every direction.
With the wind, but the problem is they are erratic, with the wind making them move in every direction. So answer is right. What is the word for every, for move?
Electricity can be generated using onshore systems, using a reservoir or offshore systems. But the problem with ocean waves is that they're erratic, with the wind making them travel in every direction.
Travel, with the wind making them travel in every direction. So move and travel. And whenever you do IELTS listening, you have to observe all these things. Question number 34, movement of sand, etc. on the dash. Now listen, answer is location of sand. And where do we have sand in the ocean? On the... No. Where do we have sand in the ocean? That is the bed of the ocean. We call it bed of the ocean. Or we call it, what is it? Yeah, floor of the ocean, right? So movement of sand on the dash of the ocean. It means answer is location of sand in the ocean, right? Now listen, don't expect sand on the surface of the ocean. It may be at the bottom of the ocean, right? So let's see.
This adds to the difficulty of creating efficient technology. Ideally, all the waves would travel smoothly and regularly along the same straight line. Another drawback is that sand and other sediment on the ocean floor might be stopped from flowing normally, which can lead to environmental problems.
Sand and other sediments on the ocean floor. So on the ocean floor means floor of the ocean. Answer is floor, F-L-O-U-R. And that is flower, by the way. F-L-O-U-R is flower. Yasin, catch him. Question number 35. Tidal energy. Tides are more dash than waves. Underline more than waves. So comparison of tide with waves. Okay. So tides are more dash. And even if you don't understand what is tide and what is wave, don't worry. Just see comparison and what is the word they use for that.
The second category of marine energy that I'll mention is tidal energy. One major advantage of using the tide rather than waves as a source of energy is that it's predictable. We know the exact times of high and low tides for years to come.
Okay. So one advantage is it is predictable. That's right. Okay. Plain tidal lagoons in Wales will be created in a dash at Swansea. Now, Swansea is name of area. Okay, in a dash at Swansea means at the place of Swansea there is something and they are going to do it there. So focus the word in a at Swansea. In a what? Preposition in a.
For tidal energy to be effective, the difference between high and low tides needs to be at least 5 meters. And this occurs naturally in only about 40 places on Earth. But the right conditions can be created by constructing a tidal lagoon, an area of seawater separated from the sea. One current plan is to create a tidal lagoon on the coast of Wales. This will be an area of water within a bay at Swansea, sheltered by a U-shaped
bay at Swansea. Bay. How do you spell? B-A-Y. Good. Okay guys, next can you see they have used the word 16 turbines? So when they say 16, it means audio is there. Next, can you see the word electricity? When they say electricity, it means they have reached there. After that, 37. Stored water is released through what? If you've studied anything about what do we call dams, water dams, right? So they release the water through channels. They release the water through tunnels. They release the water through something, right? Now let's see what is that. Turbines are run through that water. They release the water through tunnels, through something. So they release, stored water is released through. And for through, they can use the word stored water is released from the tunnels. Or the stored water goes through the tunnels. Something like that.
The breakwater will contain 16 hydro turbines, and as the tide rises, water rushes through the breakwater, activating the turbines, which turn a generator to produce electricity. Then, for 3 hours as the tide goes out, the water is held back within the breakwater, increasing the difference in water level until it's several meters higher within the lagoon than in the open sea. Then, in order to release the stored water, gates in the breakwater are opened.
Simple, huh? Stored water was your clue word, and then they said gates are open. It means water will go through the gates. Answer is gates, and you will write gates, G-A-T-E-S. Good. Okay, advantage. Advantage of tidal energy. Well done. Not dependent on weather. No dash is required. Encircle the word no. For no, for example, no food is required. No food is required. In the audio, say it doesn't need food. It doesn't take food. Right? There is no necessity for food. No, not, doesn't take, or without. For no, they use another word. It runs without food. For example. So it's another word, right?
This system has quite a lot in its favour. Unlike solar and wind energy, it doesn't depend on the weather. The turbines are operated without the need for fuel, so it doesn't create any greenhouse gas emissions, and very little.
First they said it doesn't depend on the weather. That point is already written. Okay, and then without fuel. So no fuel and without fuel. No water without water. Question number 39. Likely to create a number of, underline the word number. Whenever they use the word number, answer will be plural. Whenever they use the word number, for example, if answer is likely to create a number of opportunities. In the audio, they can say thousands of opportunities. What is thousand? Number. Countless opportunities. What is countless? Another way of expressing number. So answer will be plural. And number means it can be exact number or it can be anything like that. Let's see.
It's estimated that electricity generated in this way will be relatively cheap, and that manufacturing the components would create more than 2,000 jobs, a big boost to the local economy.
And see, more than 2,000 is a number. Got it? So these are the tips and techniques you should know. Yeah, when you read the questions alone. Okay, let's go on. Problem. May harm fish and birds. So this will harm fish and birds. For example, by affecting dash and building up silt. So one problem is building up silt. Okay, now listen. Why will we not write 2000? Because a number of is already written. How can, and by the way, it's one word only. Have they mentioned one word and or a number? No. So that's why. Okay, good. That's a good question. So, may harm fish and birds by affecting. Underline the word affecting. For affecting, they may use the word disturbing. By affecting birds. By disturbing birds. Affecting or disturbing. And answer will come with building up silt. Silt is some sort of like thing in the sea. So let's see.
It's estimated that electricity generated. On the other hand, there are fears that lagoons might harm both fish and birds. For example, by disturbing migration patterns and causing a build-up of silt, affecting local ecosystems.
Will you write pattern? No. Because it's one word only. And if you write only pattern, that's wrong. By affecting pattern. No. It's migration pattern. So answer is migration. Okay, thank you.